A beautiful night for baseball here from Safeco Field. It's game one of this quick three-game interleague series as the Arizona Diamondbacks come to town at 46 and 51 right now, tied for third place in the National League West. The Mariners 46 and 53 entering today. As Mike Campbell, we take a look at first-year manager Chip Hale's starting lineup for the D-backs.
Exciting lineup to watch. Inciarte is going to lead things off. Then it's Tomas. Paul Goldschmidt, 21 home runs on the year, but he also has 17 stolen bases. What a player. A.J. Pollock will hit cleanup. Then it's Hill, Castillo. Jake Lamb, University of Washington product, is going to bat seventh. Owings and Ahmed round out the 9 for the Diamondbacks. For Montgomery, really off to a great start with the Mariners. His last 3 outings, a bit of a struggle, but a 4-4 record with a 3.25 ERA. He has 45 strikeouts, 21 walks, and 63 2/3. Opponents hitting .230 against him. Now we'll take a look at the defensive setup, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Gutierrez getting the start in left. Jackson in center. Cruz out and right. Kyle Seager is the third baseman. Miller and Cano playing up the middle. Logan Morrison is at first base, and Mike Zunino will do the catching.
So here is Inciarte, the left fielder, to lead things off. And Montgomery starts things off with strike one. Now Mike, to bring up the offense, the lineup for the Diamondbacks, and it has been very good so far this year. Look at where the Diamondbacks stack up among their National League counterparts. Third in average, third in runs, fourth in on base, fifth in slugging, and well, you look at the top 3 or 4 in the lineup, everybody's hitting 300 plus.
And they're second in stolen bases, so you really have to pay attention to them when they get on the bases. And there's manager Chip Hale. He'll be aggressive.
Tapper up the middle. Miller, the low scoop. Out number 1.
The play by Brad Miller, and that's going to be important throughout this series, is to play solid defense. The Mariners have certainly done that lately. We take a look at Brad and the work that he does charging. And Ciarte can really get down the line, but a good play by Brad with a strong throwing arm.
That's no triple play, but it's a nice way to start things off.
How about that?
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
The only thing more difficult than turning that triple play is trying to describe it to somebody.
You're right, and I had a chance, and I was listening to Rick Riz describe it on my drive home after the game. I think it was the better part of a minute.
Yeah, and it was the third time he did it, and he did it perfectly. Tomas looks at strike 2 with perfect recall. Tomas signing a very lucrative 6-year deal out of Cuba in December. Tomas has spent some time at third base this year when Jake Lamb, we'll talk about him coming up in a little bit, local product, was banged up, but in right field more times than not. Nice pitch there, and Montgomery is for a strikeout.
For Montgomery, fastball control is a big key for him. Lost that a little bit in his last outing, but he's able to pick up a strikeout here with a good changeup. That is his best off-speed pitch. He'll also mix in a curveball and a slider, but an 84-mile-an-hour changeup. So take a look at our Alaska Airlines Supermo and the swing by Tomas to the first strikeout for Montgomery.
Now facing Paul Goldschmidt, one of the best players in the game. And when you look at Paul Goldschmidt, he is a poster child for why there is interleague play, because he is truly one of the best talents that this game has to offer. Batting .345, and he hammers this pitch to left, and it's not coming back. Well, sadly, right on cue, Goldschmidt gives the Diamondbacks an early 1-0 lead on home run number 22.
And one of the things that Goldschmidt has done this year is really beat on left-handed pitching, hitting over .380 against lefties. That's his 7th home run against left-handed pitching. Gives the Diamondbacks an early lead. Looks like he tries to throw a cut fastball in on his hands, but he's able to get the barrel to it. See how simple his swing is. Head down in the hitting area, short swing. Powerful swing that goes in the back of the bullpen.
First pitch to Pollock, to Cano, to Morrison. Out number 3, but Goldschmidt goes deep, and through 1/2 inning, the Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. early in this ball game has given the Diamondbacks an early 1-0 lead. As we take a look, Mike, at Floyd McClendon's lineup tonight.
Mariners starting lineup brought to you by Chevron. Leading off, it'll be Austin Jackson. Then it is Seager, Cruz, and Cano. That's been quite a combination for the Mariners. Franklin Gutierrez will move up and hit 5th in the lineup. Then it's Trumbo, the DH, hitting 6th. Morrison, Zunino, and Brad Miller round out the 9 for the Mariners.
Austin Jackson leading things off for the Mariners. And the first pitch from Ray comes home, and it's in there for a strike. Robbie Ray made his major league debut last season with the Tigers and traded over to the Diamondbacks. That was in December, part of a 3-team deal.
He's really pitched well for the Diamondbacks. ERA under 3. Has a good fastball. His average fastball will be around 93 miles an hour. Also mix in a changeup, but he will throw a lot of fastballs, and typically he will pitch away.
And when you bring up throw a lot of fastballs, that's not just, so to say, half the time, but more like almost 3/4 of the time.
73% of the time he's going to throw a fastball, and again, it's a good one. He'll be 93 to 95 miles an hour. He's made some adjustments from last year that have really paid off for him, and there's another good fastball, 95. But last year, when you look at what he was doing, he threw his fastball about 62%, so a big jump in the use of his fastball this year. And the numbers show you why, and that in the changes that he's made, and that is to pitch more away. Last year he tried to pitch inside about equal amount of time, and his fastball was getting hit around. But that has not been the case this year when he's been pitching away with his fastball. So the Mariners certainly are going to be aware of that. He'll also mix in a changeup and a slider.
And you can see the heat there, 96.
Defense. And there you can see 73% on the fastball, slider, changeup. It basically would come right at the Mariner hitters.
Inside, it'll lead off walk for Austin Jackson.
And the defense for the Diamondbacks. Cincinnati will be in left field. Pollock is in center. Tomas, the right fielder. Jake Lamb at third base. Ahmed Knowings playing up the middle. Paul Goldschmidt at first. And Wellington Castillo will do the catching. There you can see the ERA to 2.72, 50 strikeouts to 15 walks. Opponent's hitting 235. He's only given up 2 home runs this year.
And the home runs have been a big storyline, or lack thereof, for Ray. Yeah, Seager looks at strike 1. He has not given up a homer in his last 5 starts. In fact, he's gone 32 innings without allowing a home run. His last homer was against the Padres way back on June 20th when Derek Norris took him deep. So a home run off of Ray is not an easy thing to do. And even though, Mike, this is left on left for Seager versus Ray, this is a huge development this season for Kyle Seager. We've seen him hit lefties well in the past,
right?
2 years ago especially, but this year he's really taken it to a new level, it seems like.
Well, he has, and he's been really consistent with it. And as you look at Kyle every year, there's a aspect of his game that he improves, and this year against lefties hitting 327. That's a pretty big jump, and he's doing some damage against them too. He has 6 home runs against left-handers. But you know, that's the reason why he continues to get better year after year after year.
It's really impressive if you look at his numbers against southpaws dating back to 2013. At the time of his last home run against a left-handed pitcher, which was on the road trip, the only man in baseball, left-handed hitter with more home runs off of left-handed pitchers, was Chris Davis. That's saying something.
That's saying something.
And he had more than David Ortiz.
And he's playing in a little bit different ballpark.
Very true. Still 0-2 on Seager.
It was interesting looking at the Diamondbacks and trying to figure out why this team is 5 games under 500 at the start of this one today. And you mentioned all the offensive numbers. They struggled on the mound this year. You look at their overall ERA because they played good defense. They're 3rd in fielding percentage in the National League.
Now their rotation 12th in the NL. Their bullpen 9th. Jeremy Hellickson has made his way over to Arizona. We remember him from his days with the Rays, but now the rotation for Chip Hale. Quick snap throw to first.
Well, I think if the Mariners are able to do it, try to get Ray's pitch count up and get him out of the ball game. Try to get after that bullpen. Last couple of outings against San Francisco, he went 5 innings, 99 pitches. Against Miami in his last outing, went 4 2/3 and had to throw 100 pitches.
That's really been an issue for Ray, finishing hitters off, and even Chip Hale talked about that a little bit from inside the Diamondbacks dugout earlier today before batting practice. Ahmed takes it, the long flip, and the double play. Two outs, nobody on for Cruz. As we take a look at our lows, never stop improving, and it's tough to compare or to challenge one home run to the next, Mike and Cruz, because it seems like now they're all impressive.
Just have to stay with them, Aaron, because you never know where they're going to end up, and that was a bomb yesterday into the upper deck.
And it came at the right time. It tied things up.
Talking about Goldschmidt and what he's done against lefties. Nelson Cruz, 385, 7 home runs against left-handed pitching this year. He's going to see some fastballs. He's probably going to see him on the outer third. Of course, Nelson with power to all fields.
Robbie Ray, 23 years old, born in Brentwood, Tennessee, only about 20 minutes south of Nashville. And not a whole lot of time in the big leagues for Ray. In fact, tonight marks only his 17th career major league start. He's pitched less than 100 innings in the big leagues. Line drive, left field, and a base hit. Cruz a 2-out single. That'll bring in Cano.
Looks like the changeup, and it's down, but it's in the middle of the plate. Really squared it up. Unfortunately, he didn't get some error under that because it was right on the barrel. Solid line drive base hit into left field.
2 outs. Cruz at first for Cano in the midst of his 7-game hitting streak. And we talked about it in the open mic, but this is what has really become very exciting about this Mariners offense over the last week's worth of time is that you've got Cruz, you've got Seager, you got Cano, and they're all getting hot.
Well, and you just saw the 7-game hitting streak for Cano. Cruz just extended his hitting streak to 7 games. Take a look at Edgar Martinez. I think it takes the pressure off the rest of the lineup too, Aaron. When you look at the runs that they've been scoring since the All-Star break, and because of the 3 of them being hot, I don't think that you can look at that and think that it doesn't have an effect on Zunino, Franklin Gutierrez, the rest of the guys in the lineup, just taking the pressure off of them.
Now, Cano said it himself in the pregame show that he has certainly given Edgar some credit, and well, that makes a lot of sense. Cano behind the count 0-2. You look at the month of July that Cano is putting together, batting nearly .340, an OPS approaching 1,000, and he has homered 6 times this month, which is the most home runs that he has hit in any single month wearing a Mariners uniform. He homered 5 times last August for the Mariners. Again, the 0-2. The opposite way. And Ciarte is there to make the catch. Cruz is stranded. Cano stings it. But that'll end the first inning. Diamondbacks an early lead. With the Grand Slam family package. Get 4 tickets, hot dogs, and Pepsi soft drinks for one low price for tomorrow's 7:10 first pitch against the Diamondbacks. Hisashi Iwakuma up on the mound. Visit Mariners.com to pick up family package tickets. Glad you could join us. Game 1 of this 3-game set, interleague play with Arizona. And the first pitch was seen outside to Aaron Hill, former first-round draft pick by the Blue Jays. Spent a lot of time north of the border, in fact, 7 years with Toronto. High the opposite way. Lomo along chase and a foul ball. Mike, we talked a little bit in the first inning about Montgomery and the beginning of his campaign this year with the Mariners and the last 2 times out. Last 3 starts for Montgomery, 14 earned runs. His previous 7 starts, his first 7 starts, 9 earned runs. It's been a big difference.
I think that you can just look at a couple of things. 8 walks, 4 home runs over those 3 games. And I think that young pitcher, a lot of success early on. The league is going to get a scouting report. It's going to make a difference. And you have to watch him make adjustments back to it. And I think that he's a talented young man. He certainly will do that.
It's interesting if you look at batting average of balls put in play. So just for example, just a ground ball up the middle, for example, it's a huge contrast, especially his last 3 starts. Almost gets it there, a little bit low. The first 7 starts we were talking about when he had 2 complete game shutouts along the way. 221 was the average of balls put in play. Perusing through Mariners magazine. What great piece in a recent Mariners magazine about Felix and Adam Jones. Of course, we'll see Felix the finale of this series. Adam Jones saying, the all-star center fielder for the Orioles, that if he had 1 game to win, he'd pitch that guy right there. He would put Felix up on the mound, which was pretty high praise.
I think that you'll probably find a lot of players in this league that would feel that way.
First pitch is strike to Castillo, the former Mariner. Mike, 6 games, can you call him a former Mariner? I think you can. He wore the uniform.
I think so, yeah. I think that's fair.
Drove in a couple of runs. And he smacks this. This is trouble, and he'll drive one in here. A second home run today off of Montgomery. Castillo makes it 2-0 Diamondbacks.
We'll take a look at it, and this is going to be more location for Montgomery. He throws him a fastball, 0-1 count, and he throws it right down the middle. It's 94 miles an hour, so it's a good fastball for Mike Montgomery. Castillo ends up squaring it up. Where we're talking about the walks and now the home runs, already a couple of home runs. And I think that there's a couple of things that you can look at. I think that the pitch to Goldschmidt was a good quality pitch, probably just in off the plate. I think that's more of Paul Goldschmidt doing his homework, his scouting report on what Mike wants to do and looking in the air. And we know he likes to throw the cut fastball inside, and he was able to get it inside. And again, just off the plate, gives up a home run. And then you have some that are going to be more middle of the plate, as that last one was, where you're going to get a home run. And he's just kind of in that mode right now.
2 balls and a strike now on Jake Lamb, the local product, born in Seattle. Went to UW, and he's got a very large cheering section, as you can see there. In fact, when Tom Hutler, the voice of Safeco Field, did the Diamondbacks starting lineup, it was silent in this ballpark until Lamb's name was announced, and the crowd you just saw a few moments ago erupted. This is a huge thrill for Lamb. This is the first time playing at Safeco Field.
And you can see Zunino trying to help his pitcher out, framing that last pitch, but it was off the plate away.
1 out, nobody on. A couple of solo homers for the Diamondbacks. And Lamb draws a walk. That'll bring in Owens, the second baseman. For Montgomery, this is his 3rd interleague start already this season. Pitched against the Giants, then had that complete game shutout in San Diego against the Padres. Mariners this year 5-6 against the National League. Close pitch there, but ball 1. The Diamondbacks playing in really a pretty tough division. And then you look at how the National League, especially the West, is shaking out so far this year. As tonight for the Mariners marks game 100 on the season. But you've got the payroll kings and the Dodgers leading the division by a game. Then the Giants, who, well, Bruce Bochy, all he continues to do is win there in the Bay Area. Giants trailing the Dodgers by a game. Opposite way, drops in, base hit. Lamb holds up at second base. Owens, a 1-out single. Colorado has really struggled this year. 12 games back as we take a look at the standings in the National League West. Padres were the heroes of the offseason, and yet it looks like they could be sellers by the time the trade deadline rolls around at 4 Eastern on Friday. But you look at just those 2 top teams, and the Mariners have seen both already this season, the Dodgers and the Giants. And it's easy to, those are 2 huge roadblocks.
No, they really are. And if you look at the Giants, they're starting to get hot. They've won 9 out of 10, playing some really good baseball. So the West, tough division.
There's Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, batting 9th.
And Rick Wade's pitching coach, quick trip out to the mound. 28 pitches, 18 strikes.
We'll take a look now at our CenturyLink What's Next. That'll be Hisashi Iwakuma. Zach Godley going for the Diamondbacks. As you can see, not much time in the big leagues for Godley. Debut came last Thursday.
I was really impressed with Iwakuma in his last outing against the Tigers. Gave up some runs early in that one. We've talked a lot about the bullpen over the last week and a half. Settled down and was able to give him some innings and hold the score where it was at.
That's a great point. The Tigers, one of the best hitting teams in the league, even without Miguel Cabrera. They put 2 runs across the plate before Iwakuma can record an out. And then he settled into a groove right away after that. 1-1. You can see his line, a career high, by the way, 112 pitches. Lamb at second, Owens at first, a walk and a single. And Montgomery gets ahead 1-2. Now you can work around solo homers. Montgomery's given up a pair so far. We're now trying to skirt out of some problems with 2 on and 1 out.
Hold the straight, Mike.
Comes his 2-2. And to left field, Lamb hits the stop sign at third. And the bases are full with 1 out. So the last 4 Diamondbacks hitters reaching a homer, a walk, and then back-to-back singles.
Solid base hit. Able to square the baseball up, and they're basically hitting its fastball. It was 92-mile-an-hour fastball. So far, Montgomery has topped out at 94. But again, another pitch that's elevated in the middle of the strike zone.
It's back up to the top of the order. Inciarte, the left fielder, leadoff man, will climb in with the bases full and 1 out. And Mike, we'll see what unfolds here in the coming moments, but if there's one thing we've learned about Montgomery this year, is that at times when he has been in these situations, the Royals game stands out in the first inning and his first complete game shutout, he has had a knack for really buckling down.
We're going to have base runners, but you're right, he's been able to make pitches, and typically he'll get a ground ball to help himself out.
Could use one right here. And on his hands, 1-1.
The Diamondbacks this year hitting .243 with runners in scoring position, .221 with the bases loaded. Already 24 pitches in the inning for Montgomery.
To Miller, can't handle it, and he's got no throw. Tough hop there, and Lamb scores from third. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks.
Get his ass. Let's go.
It's an error.
We'll take a look at it. The ball is spinning sideways on Brad. It hits off the heel of his glove. Right off the, actually off the thumb of his glove.
So the bases stay full. Owens out at third. Ahmed into second. Tomas, strike 1.
Seems that we've been talking about a lot lately, but it's because of the offenses. You look at the Tigers, of course, the Blue Jays, who were just in town, and now you look at the offense for the Diamondbacks. You really have to stay away from walks and play solid defense. And so far in this inning, there's been the solo home run, but a walk and an error now.
Well, the Mariners' offense has really been clicking so far this month. The 6th most runs in baseball, the Mariners' offense. But unfortunately, they've run up against, as Mike's saying, some of the very hottest offenses in the game, not just in the AL. You look at the Angels, the Tigers, and the Blue Jays, the top 3 scoring teams in the game this month, and the Mariners have played those 3 teams in 14 of their last 17 games. Doesn't make it easy. And he's down on strikes. Tomas strikes out, and a much needed out number 2.
It also gives you a pretty good idea of the reason why the bullpen is tired and has been used a lot. As a starter against those kinds of offenses, if you don't have your stuff right away, they're going to hurt you, and we've seen that a few times. That was the case for Montgomery in his last outing against the Tigers, where he went 2 2/3, giving up 6 earned runs.
That's a good point. Goldschmidt, Cano is right there, hip high, and it's out number 3. So Montgomery, a couple of runs in, that'll leave him loaded as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Diamondbacks have the lead. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. On a gorgeous day here in Seattle. Glad you could join us. Game 1 of 3. Mariners and the Diamondbacks. It'll be Iwakuma tomorrow night, and then King Felix, a day game on Wednesday. As we make our way to the bottom of the 2nd, that's where Franklin Gutierrez will begin things. Goody, the mammoth home run out to left center yesterday to win it and win the series against Toronto. And some of the quotes from his teammates following the game, when you would see the normal dog pile at home plate, and one Mariner player yells out, "No, don't hurt him." And Goody got a chuckle out of that too. But his value to this ball club in situations like this against a lefty has been tremendous.
Well, it is, and I think again you have to remember, one, he's a veteran player. He's had success at the major league level. He's had success here in Seattle, and the biggest thing for Lloyd is going to manage him and his health to try to keep him in the lineup.
95 on the fastball with some nice movement there from Ray. Out number 1.
We'll take a look at it. Well off the plate away, 95 miles an hour. And again, Robbie Ray, he likes his fastball. He has a good one. You can see it there at 95, and he will pitch away for the most part.
I'll bring in the former Diamondback, Mark Trumbo. Spent about a year and a half in Phoenix. 23 home runs in that time. Diamondbacks have the early lead, a couple of solo homers. And Trumbo behind 0-2. Up the middle and a base hit. Second hit today off of Ray. And it puts a man aboard with a 1 out. Well, the time is now to join the club as a Mariners season ticket holder in 2016. Whether a full season or 20-game plan, you'll enjoy great benefits. Test drive a seat today when you contact an account executive at 206-346-4001 or just go to mariners.com/16. One out, one on for Logan Morrison. This is not the first time the Mariners have seen Robbie Ray. They saw him last season in a Tigers uniform in mid-August. He got knocked around a little bit. Broken bat, little flare, and it's caught by Owens. A Trumbo back into the dive. 5 innings last August in a Tigers uniform against the Mariners. 4 runs, twice as many hits in what turned out to be a Mariners win. And Mike, we've talked a little bit about his repertoire, a lot of fastballs, but from what the scouting report says, a fastball around 93. We've seen him more 95, 96 at times today.
You're right, and he's averaging around 93, but he definitely feels good tonight. We've seen 95 a number of times. Trumbo at first. Here's Zunino. It really seems like Mike is in a good place right now offensively. Well, I think so, and I think we just showed you the 6-game hitting streak, hitting .450 with the 4 doubles. Had an opportunity really to go 4 for 4 with, including a home run yesterday. He was robbed of a home run out towards the left field, so he ended up 3 for 4. But I think that, it's one of the things that I've talked about a lot, Aaron. Is you have an approach in a game, and you work on certain things mechanically. Mike has certainly worked with Edgar a lot, and at some point you have to get paid off for that work. You have to get some base hits just to get your confidence moving in the right direction, and I think that's where Mike is at now.
Clock high, left center. Cincinnati, a long run. Does he have the room? He does, and he makes a spectacular catch. Zunino can only shake his head. That'll end things as we take another look. Right by the yellow line. We go to the third. Diamondbacks the lead. Nice family night out at the ballpark here at beautiful Safeco Field. We make our way to the top of the third inning. Diamondbacks lead things early 3-0. A.J. Pollock to begin things for Arizona. And he looks at a first pitch strike. Now, a lot of talk on this Diamondbacks team about Goldschmidt, and no doubt for good reason, but Pollock, a really good player, batting over 300 for the season, and some pretty good pop as well, and really can play the outfield.
Well, and he also has 22 stolen bases this year, so some power and the speed that you're talking about.
All-star this year, former first rounder. You look at around all of Major League Baseball, hits by center fielders across the game, and he is right up there with the very best in Mike Trout. That's impressive. Little squibber, Cano's way. Nifty throw, and the pick at first. Right out of his pocket.
Really a good play by Logan Morrison. Logan started to go after the ground ball, changed his mind, went to first, which was a good idea because Cano was right there. You can see Cano had thrown the ball before he'd even turned around and had to make an adjustment on the low throw.
First pitch missing to Hill. Hammered left field. Goody on the sprint off the wall. Hill charges into second base and he stands up with a double. That was smoked. So Montgomery having to work around a one-out double now. He left the bases loaded back in the second, but the Diamondbacks did bring 2 runs across, including one by this man, Castillo, who homered out to left center.
Diamondbacks with 5 hits, 3 of them for extra bases, a couple of home runs, and that double.
Let me take a look at what happened back in the second.
That's the location. Fastball right in the middle of the plate.
Cedeno trying to handle this one, can't find it. And Hill into second, making third base easily. A wild pitch.
Off the umpire's leg, then his arm. That's why Mike wasn't sure where the ball was at.
Ball and 2 strikes to Castillo. Castillo was in trades that involved 2 Mariners bullpen pieces. First of all, the Mariners getting Castillo from the Cubs this year for Yervis Medina, and then sending Castillo with Dominic Leone. Trumbo coming over along with Vidal Nuno. Off-speed pitch low.
Mariners have their infield in. And you can see 51 pitches, 33 strikes. And throw 30 pitches in the second inning.
Gets him swinging. Here's the changeup, 2 outs.
And Arizona now 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Third strikeout today for Montgomery. That brings in Jake Lamb. Flo, what was your first visit to Seattle like as a big leaguer?
It was great. Like this right here, what you're seeing in the stands. Family and friends.
You were that popular? Is that what you're trying to say?
I gave away a lot of tickets, Aaron.
Hard not to be popular when you do that.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to come back home.
I bet. That's always the question for any player when he makes his return home is, will that inspire him to maybe even play better than he normally would, or do you get a little bit of the jitters? We've seen Mariners players and opponents on both ends of that spectrum. But the juices can flow a little bit more.
Well, they can. I think typically you'll see them play well. They're excited about the opportunity to play at home.
Runner at third base, 2 outs. And a nice stuff there by Zunino to make it 3-1. Lamb said that when he was in high school, he was very wiry. As you see Owens on deck, but he learned to barrel up the ball, and then once he started to fill out a little bit into college, that's when he really started to get some pop in his bat. As he takes a 5-pitch walk. And the Diamondbacks have runners on the corners with 2 outs. That's the second walk today from Lamb. Now bring in Owens.
I think that's typical of a lot of players, and for Lamb, only 24 years old, I think over the next few years you're going to see him get even stronger.
And they really like what he can do defensively at third base. That's a huge plus for him. Owens singled to right field his last time up. Out of the first pitch to Miller. Out of Cano. They'll get Lamb there. And that'll wrap things up in the top of the third as Montgomery strands 2 Diamondback base runners. Win tickets to Jamie Moyer bobblehead night on Saturday, August 8th. All you have to do, text Moyer to 71532 and you could win 2 tickets in the commissioner's box, plus your very own 7-inch collectible of the winningest pitcher in Mariners franchise history. There is Brad Miller to begin things in the bottom of the third. Looks to bunt, ball 1. Miller 8 home runs on the season. Tied with Marcus Semien of the A's for the most home runs for any American League shortstop. really, when you think about really the twists and turns for this season at times for Brad Miller, whether it be in the outfield at shortstop, and then when Chris Taylor was called back up, there was some immediate questions as to if it would be a straight up platoon as Miller lifts to left field. But what we have seen is that really, for very few exceptions, even if there's a lefty on the mound, it's been Miller in there at shortstop. A tough, what you might quote unquote call a tough lefty. We've seen Taylor in there, but Miller's been in there almost every day.
I think it's especially true if there's some reverse splits going on with the lefties. There's a look at Chris.
One out, nobody on for Austin Jackson. Jackson took a leadoff walk to begin the first inning for the Mariners tonight. And Ray quickly ahead. That fastball's humming tonight. Three pitches, 96 that time, and Ray gets the punch out.
I think we're seeing exactly what the scouting report on him was saying. Likes to throw his fastball, a lot of fastballs, and he'll pitch away with his fastball for the most part. He has mixed in a few changeups and a few sliders, but really just a lot of fastballs away. 40 pitches, 28 strikes for him. He's faced 10 batters, 7 first pitch strikes.
2 outs, nobody on for Seager. Slicing to left field, and Ciarte, easy play there. And a 1-2-3 inning, the first of its kind so far tonight early on for Robbie Ray. We go to the 4th. Diamondbacks up 3-0. To nothing. One hop your way home. Take Link Light Rail to the airport for just $3. That's it. Schedule available right now at soundtransit.org. 9-1-2 due up for the Diamondbacks. Boy, packed night in the pen, and you say that often. Popular spot here at the ballpark, and for good reason. Did Brad Adam really catch that home run ball yesterday, by the way, Mike?
No.
Yeah. He tried to convince some people. Nice pick there. Seager near the bag. Out number 1. And a quick one.
It's one of those plays that Kyle is really good at. Kind of an in-between hop. But again, it starts with his feet. And he will come to get it right away. He doesn't wait. Move in. Smother it. And at that point, it's an easy play. You see him try to close the distance. So many times you see infielders and they'll have their glove and it'll move away from the ball, trying to get a bigger hop, but Kyle goes the other way. Typically he'll move his glove more towards it, close that distance down and smother it. Something that he and Chris Woodward, the infield coach, have worked on a lot over the last year.
First pitch strike to Inciarte. And Mike, if you take a look at the elite level third baseman in the game, is that one of the qualities they have, the sense of being so aggressive and charging a ground ball like that?
Well, I think it was last year that Kyle told me, and it's something that Chris Woodward, we just saw him in the dugout, had said that he wants to play defense offensively.
Huh.
And I think that especially at third, because a lot of times you don't have the angle on the hop that a shortstop or a second baseman where they have time to get around the ball and maybe see the hops a little bit better because of the angles they have. That at third really comes down to being aggressive. As soon as the ball is hit, your mindset is, I'm going to go get it. And we'll take a look at it again and see him right there. He starts moving forward. Glove comes forward, and that's how he makes the hop. So many times guys will stay where they're at and try to catch it on a bigger hop and make it a tougher play.
Quickly out of the hand of Cano. 2 outs, both on the ground.
But I think that Kyle, and you mentioned it, the good one is the reason why he has that gold patch on his glove. The good ones are really aggressive, and he has really good feet, which help. There you can see the patch. Earned that last year, gold glove.
He's one of the best. 2 quick outs for Montgomery, who threw a lot of pitches to get the first 9 outs in this one tonight. Tomas, first pitch outside. He has struck out Tomas twice, 2 of his 3 strikeouts.
I think that's one of the things, talking about that and being aggressive, playing defense, Aaron, is difficult because so many third basemen played in the middle of the diamond growing up. Of course, Kyle playing second base, and you're just so used to having time to get around the ball, and that's something that he said that he had to change, and that's not always an easy thing to do, because at times when you're aggressive like that, you can look really bad.
The 3-0. Miller's way. And it's 3 up, 3 down. To third, to second, and to short. Nice work by Mike Montgomery. First 1, 2, 3 innings fun for the lefties so far tonight. As we're about to begin the bottom of the 4th, we take a look at our Seattle City light power play, and this is very interesting. You take a look at most hits this month. Obviously, regardless of position, Bogart's the promising shortstop from the Red Sox, and Kinsler, second baseman for the Tigers. But then 3 of the next 4, all Mariners, and Mike, as we've talked about, all 3 getting hot right now.
Well, it's good to see, and I know that's something that we saw a little bit in spring training, and we've had glimpses of it this year, but it's been consistent for them, and those numbers right there will tell you that. Cruz with a base hit his first time up, extending his hitting streak to 7 games.
It's exciting to think about where this season could end for Cruz when you take into account the power numbers and the average. Entered today batting .311, has already added a hit for the tally so far this year. This one to Owens. But to see somebody with that type of pop and to be able to hit for that consistent average, it's because of that it was interesting in a recent series to see him shifted against. We've only seen that a couple of times this season,
which was surprising, and he actually ended up getting some hits to right field. That was against the Tigers, including a home run, but he was hitting the ball the other way, and I guess they weren't believers.
One out for Cano.
Cano hit the ball hard his first time up, ended up lining out to the left fielder.
Up the middle, Owens. A diving stop. Does he get rid of it in time? No. Infield single, Cano. 8-game hitting streak now for Robbie.
We'll take another look at it. Owens, the diving effort. He had a little bit of an issue whether it was trying to get up or get a grip on the baseball as he was trying to make the throw. But a great effort. Right there, that extra little double pump was the difference to let Cano get in there, and he's clearly safe.
That puts a man on with a one out for Gutierrez.
Cano now with an 8-game hitting streak.
His month of July just continues to get better and better. Here comes the 0-1 to make it 1-1. Although Diamondbacks pitching has struggled for the better part of this year, staff earned an average of over 4/11th in the National League. Their pitching lately has been much better. The month of July, an ERA just barely over 3, 4th best in the National League. When you take a look at their numbers overall this season, the starters 24th in baseball in quality starts, so that has been a problem starting pitching at times this season for the Diamondbacks. But Robbie Ray has pitched really very well, although at times has not pitched all that deep in games. Pitch count has got it to him. Lamb at third base. Chance for a double play, and they get it to end the inning. Second double play turned behind Robbie Ray, and that'll wrap up 4th. Our Columbia Bank difference of the game. It didn't take long. Paul Goldschmidt, his first at bat.
In the first inning, home run to left. Pretty good fastball, I thought. It was well located just off the inside corner. He was still able to turn on it and keep it fair for Goldschmidt, his 22nd home run on the year.
Goldschmidt 1 for 2, a ground out to second base to end the second inning. He has the highest average of any active player in the game right now. Miguel Cabrera batting .350, but of course has been on the disabled list for some time with a calf injury. Goldschmidt right behind him. And Chip Hale, the first-year manager of the Diamondbacks today, when asked what is it that makes Goldschmidt so good, he went right to his preparation and he said that in every facet of the game, defensively, offensively, running the bases, he is meticulous, is the word that he used. He studies everything, retains it as well. And a 4-pitch walk.
And after showing that home run, no surprise, all 4 pitches away from him. And try to pitch him inside again.
Leadoff man aboard for A.J. Pollock. Goldschmidt, a guy you want to keep your eye on. 17 steals. He's been caught only 4 times. And you just look at him, Mike, and he doesn't fit the profile of a guy who has nearly 20 stolen bases.
Well, I think that probably early on surprised some people. But as you mentioned, he obviously has a pretty good idea what he's doing on the base paths.
See his stolen base numbers. Now the man right behind him, Dave McKay. When you talk with those who cover the Diamondbacks on a daily basis, they credit McKay to great extent for the stolen base success this year for the Diamondbacks. They're second in the major leagues in steals, and McKay is a major statistician there at first base, keeping track of all the times. As you see the stopwatch right on cue. How much active conversation is there, Mike, between a base runner at first base and a first base coach with the stopwatch?
Depends on the base runner.
Fair enough.
I didn't have many long conversations when I was over there.
You don't say.
Exactly. I think more than anything, they get the times right away, but I think more than anything, sometimes the first base coach can pick something up, especially when you have a left-hander on the mound like Montgomery, trying to see if there's anything that they can pick up to where maybe they get a better jump. But that's basically it.
You know, Mike, based on your career numbers, which just magically came up in front of me.
Shocker.
The 1-2. Mike, do you know how many stolen bases you had in your 11-year career?
I have no idea.
A big 7, Blow. 7. Now, is that more or less than what you would have thought?
I would say that it was about. I would have been close. Okay. I would have been close. I can tell you though, Aaron.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Because obviously I had a year or two there where my teammates who were hitting behind me were poor at the hit and run.
Well, of course. I mean, you were caught 8 times, and it's hard to think that any of those were actually your fault. Soft ground ball, Miller's way. That's all he'll get. One out, one on for the Diamondbacks. Now playing fantasy baseball, MLB.TV serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Get MLB.TV today. Pollock, a fielder's choice. Goldschmidt out at second. Aaron Hill climbing in for the third time, a double into left field back in the third inning. Now Pollock, another one you got to keep your eye on. 22 steals. Back towards Montgomery. Down to Cano. Out number 2. I'll stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. That'll be with Brad and Dave Valley. Two outs, Hill at first base for Castillo. As Montgomery approaching the 80 pitch mark.
Castillo hit a home run on a fastball. He went back-to-back fastballs, and it was on an 0-1 count. Fastball in the middle of the plate. There's a cut fastball to him. He was able to strike him out his next time up using his changeup. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the curveball and the changeup here in this at bat.
Right there to Miller. And there was the change. And it's dropped by Cano. On to first base. Too late there. Hill is safe. Castillo is safe. It's an error on Cano. Didn't see that one coming.
Well, we'll take a look, see where his eyes are at if he watches it all the way into his glove. You can see him trying to step on the base, and no, you see his head drop right there, looking down to find the base, and that's the reason why. Close his glove a little bit early. And again, take another look at it, head down. So the second error for the Mariners.
Saw the error by Miller earlier. First pitch strike in there to Lamb. Two on, two out.
Arizona. Yes, it was. Arizona's 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Now, this is not an offense you want to give extra chances to.
Well, no, there's a couple of things in play with the errors. You're right. It gives them an extra opportunity, but it also adds to the pitch count of Mike Montgomery, and he was already high. And we've talked a lot about how much the bullpen has been used, so it doesn't help on a couple of different levels. There we go. 82 pitches, 48 strikes.
The 2-1. Now Jake Lamb so far today in his return home walked in the second. He walked again in the third. Scored a run in the second inning. And another full count to Lamb. Owens on deck. It's Hill at second base, Castillo at first. And he rips right through this one, a fastball. And Montgomery gets his strikeout and strands 2. He has stranded 7 base runners over the first 5 innings. As always, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Gorgeous night here from Safeco Field. Game 1 of 3 with the Diamondbacks. Coming to town for the first time since 2009. First time these two teams have met up since 2012 when the Mariners played in Phoenix. Trumbo ahead right away, 1-0. Rushes him back.
Now he's throwing a lot of strikes. 52 pitches, 34 strikes. He's faced 15 batters, 10 first pitch strikes. Trumbo, he had a base hit back up the middle his first time up, and Owings, the second baseman, now is playing right behind second base. There you can see the defense.
Three and one. Lomo waiting his turn on deck. And a full count.
We mentioned the average fastball per rate, which is at 93 miles an hour. We've seen him hit 95 a number of times.
Slicing with some distance to right center, and it's just off the bottom of the wall. Trumbo a double and a nice way to begin the Mariners' fifth.
And he gets a fastball. It's on the outside corner at 93 miles an hour. And Robbie Ray, the left-hander, has done a pretty good job of changing speeds on his fastball, but Trumbo gets this one elevated a little bit just below the belt. Try to pull it, goes with the pitch and hits right off the base of the fence 380 feet away. Give Logan Morrison a chance to drive in a run. Arizona has the shift on with Logan hitting.
Up the middle and a base hit. Trumbo steams to third. Donnelly waving him home. Here comes the throw. Trumbo across standing, and the Mariners get their first run.
We just talked about the shift and Logan going the other way. All kinds of room on the left side of the infield, and Logan takes advantage of it. It's a good fastball, middle away.
And that will bring in the tying run to the plate and Mike Zunino. And keep in mind for Ray, it has been now 36 innings since Robbie Ray has given up a home run, spanning 5+ starts. Left field line with foul. Now we told you it was a beautiful night here in Seattle.
Well, Zunino was close to hitting a home run his first time up. Skied the ball out towards left center field. It was caught right up against the fence.
Lomo at first. And it's 0-2. Now you're right, Mike. That's back-to-back days where Zunino has fallen victim to some serious highway robbery in left. We saw it yesterday when Carrera looked like he took one back. That was a home run yesterday.
I think it was over. Yeah, I thought it would have been over.
And then tonight rather, Inciarte, you can see him there right by the top of the fence, taking a hit away. Zunino on a 6-game hitting streak, and the one thing really tangibly that he has talked about in terms of mechanically has helped to lead to the 6-game hitting streak, saying that he's really let the ball travel. That's been a big difference maker. He's got a runner at first base.
I think for any player, Aaron, when they've been struggling, that's a really good approach to have. The problem is to do that, you have to trust your hands, that your hands are going to get in the hitting area on time. And sometimes you have to have some success for that to happen, and that's something that Mike has been working at. Obviously, with the 6-game hitting streak, he's having success doing it.
Is that easier to do against some pitchers than others, letting the ball travel?
Well, it is, especially if you have a pitcher that has the ability to throw 95 like Ray does. It makes it a little more difficult, but you have to stay with that approach.
Zunino the tying run, and Mike down on strikes. The Heat once again, first down of the 5th.
That's another fastball, 94, just off the outside corner, too close to take for Mike.
That brings in Miller. Lomo still at first. Ray had really settled into a pretty nice groove before this 5th. He had faced the minimum each of the last 2 innings. But back-to-back base hits to begin this last of the 5th. Trumbo the double, then scoring on Lomo's single. Ray's numbers this season in his 10 starts, he's really been impressive. 3 runs or fewer in 8 of his first 10 starts this season. 2 runs or fewer in 7 of the 10. Opponents have not had a whole lot of luck against him. Right there on the fringe to make it 1-2. Morrison leads at first. The RBI single put him there. And the 1-2. Just gets a piece. Miller down on strikes. 2 outs. The off-speed pitch that time from Ray. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave. Each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Refresherator just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Back-to-back punch-outs by Ray. And it's back to the top of the order. Here's Austin Jackson. ball and 1 strike. Mariners coming off this series win against the Blue Jays here at home. Taking 2 games out of 3. Felix winning in game 1. And then the walk-off win in 10 innings in yesterday's game to finish up the series. Trying to build some momentum here in interleague play now. And that really is the next step, and really a better way to say it, the vital step for the Mariners, as we are on game 100 tonight. Is bunch up some series wins and extend some winning streaks.
You're right. At this point, you have to do that, Aaron.
Out of time.
Yes. Running out of games.
Mariners 9.5 behind the Angels. 4th place in the division. And the Angels have caught fire. They've won 7 of their last 10. Mike Trout now leading all of baseball in homers. He hit 2 yesterday, including a grand slam.
One of the things that he does, that Mike Trout does, that is amazing to me. And I saw his home runs yesterday. You give him a fastball, if it's at the knees and on the inner half, he will hit it out to right center field. And it's not crawling over the wall either.
Two outs, Morrison at first base. Can you explain how he does that, Mike? Is it just Mike Trout thing?
Well, no, there are guys in this league that can take that pitch and hit it hard over to right center field by staying inside the ball. But the amount of bat speed that he has and the power that he has behind it, Aaron, is rare.
Yeah,
it's a rare combination.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. The A's ran into a buzzsaw over the weekend in San Francisco against the Giants. Oakland has now lost 4 in a row. And have already made 1 trade. And Scott Kazmir within the division. Off the plate. And then earlier today trading Clippard. So a starter, a reliever, and really not just a reliever. They trade their closer with Sean Doolittle. Completely dinged up all season long. Has made 1 appearance for the A's. Clippard onto the National League where he came from. Now with the Mets. Came to Oakland from Washington. There goes Lobo. And a strikeout ends the inning. That'll end things in the 5th. We make our way to the 6th. The Mariners on the board for the first time tonight against Robbie Ray. To by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Jack in the Box. If the Mariners win, mention Mariners for a free jumbo jack with purchase tomorrow at Jack in the Box. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Beautiful look over the Sound. The sun setting here in downtown Seattle. Game one of this 3-game series against the Diamondbacks. And it's Chris Owings to begin things in the top of the 6th inning. Seager charging the low scoop and an easy toss. Quick out number 1 for Montgomery, whose pitch count is nearing 90.
We'll take a look at it again. It's Kyle, and we've talked about it earlier. See his glove moving forward, just trying to smother it.
Multitasking. And the bubble. Chris Woodward teach him that? That's natural.
I think that's just talent.
Yeah, that's just talent.
That is talent.
Some things you can't coach, Mike. I mean, you know that.
That's just talent.
First pitch strike to Ahmed, the shortstop. The Diamondbacks love his work defensively. Ahmed, that is. Batting .223 entering this one today. I've talked about the new manager in Chip Hale, but another big change for the Diamondbacks. Tony La Russa, a Hall of Famer, went into Cooperstown last year, named Chief Baseball Officer in his first full season with the Diamondbacks, and he has made it very clear for the fan base in Arizona, as he really wants to see this team thrive in pitching, keeping the ball low in a ballpark that, well, in Phoenix, you can really hit the ball around, especially when that ballpark opens up, and also defense, and Ahmed is a big part of that plan. That's a pretty great title, though, isn't it, Mike? Chief Baseball Officer.
I like it.
That's a great title.
I like it a lot.
Hand out that business card. There might be an HOF next to it.
I wonder if Tony just gave that to himself. What do you think?
After a couple of hours thinking about it, if that. Zunino hand delivering a new ball.
Well, Mike Montgomery, you can see it right there. 93 pitches, 56 strikes for him. This will be his last inning. The season high is 113, but in that game, not a lot of stress. That was against San Diego.
One out, nobody on, 2 balls and 2 strikes for the Diamondbacks number 9 hitter, who stays alive.
And you can see it on the EQC tracer. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up. Last pitch, pretty good cutter in on his hands.
The 2-2. Seager's way, back a step. Out number 2. Ahmed really trying to burn to the finish line there. Well, come see King Felix take on the Diamondbacks under the summer sun when he takes them out for a special Mariners matinee. This should be a fun one. Wednesday, 12:40, $30. That's all it will take. We'll land you in Kings Court. Plus, you'll receive, as always, a Kings Court t-shirt, the K-Card, tickets at mariners.com. You can wear it any night. Always fashionable here at Safeco Field. It'll be the 3rd time for Felix in his career facing the Diamondbacks, the first time since 2009. Well, the Diamondbacks got lucky the last time these two teams met in 2012. They did not have to face the King. always fun watching Felix face a National League lineup that, barring trades or free agent signings, the majority of the lineup has not seen Felix unless there's some faces over from the American League.
And that is tough. You would at least, as a player, somebody that is going to have to face a pitcher of his caliber, one of the best in the business. It's always nice to have a few at bats against him. Try to come up with some sort of game plan. Talked about it a lot. So difficult. You can watch film of them and read the scouting reports, and even if there is a teammate or two that had faced him, to give you an idea. But until you stand in the batter's box for the first time, it's difficult.
Felix in his career has made 34 starts against the National League, and he owns a .257 earned run average. Numbers to back up the point. Montgomery, a strikeout to likely end his night, and a pretty quick 1-2-3. Top of the 6th inning.
Now we head to the bottom of the 6th. Kyle Seager due up. Hi, everyone. Angie Benting here at the Ford Sports Desk. Kyle Seager still looking to extend that hitting streak tonight. Nelson Cruz and Robinson Cano have already done so. Cruz now is 7 games over that span, hitting .433. And as for Cano, now up to 8, hitting .387. But I'm feeling pretty good about Mr. Seager here. Aaron, back to you.
All right, Angie, we'll see what happens right here. Like the confidence. Strike 1 to Seager. Kyle, 15 bombs, 43 RBIs on the season. And behind 0-2.
One of the few times tonight that Ray has thrown back-to-back pitches that were off-speed pitches. A couple of breaking balls to Kyle.
He'll break out that slider every once in a while. And he gets it with the fastball. So Seager down on strikes looking. And the last 4 outs recorded, in fact, the last 4 batters faced have all been retired on the strikeout.
It's interesting to me, Mike Montgomery now at 100 pitches and nobody getting loose in the Mariners bullpen. So it might be a situation because of the work the bullpen has had, and Mike has really settled down and starting to pitch well. Lloyd is going to probably try to sneak another inning if he can out of him. Right now it's 77 pitches.
His pitch count in good shape. Facing Cruz with 1 out. Cruz is singled back to the first, so now a 7-game hitting streak for Nelson. High chopper. I got a foul ball. Foul ball to make it 1-1. Well, join us for EQC Girls Night Out set for Friday, August 7th, when the Mariners take on the Rangers. For just $40, you get a main or terrace club seat, a great-looking Mariners cap, and your first drink. Just visit mariners.com/girls for tickets. Rangers right now in 3rd place in the West, and their second baseman Rougned Odor just winning American League Player of the Week. Odor, who had been sent down to the minors a little bit earlier this year. 1-1 to Cruz. Two and two. And a full count.
The last pitch inside, just trying to move his feet a little bit. All the other pitches, all 4 of them away from him, and that's the way he pitched him in his previous at bat.
Now the ground to Owens. Round number 2. Now we'll take a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? As Hisashi Iwakuma gets the ball tomorrow night for the Mariners. Our coverage begins at 6:30. First pitch from Safeco Field at 7:10. Zach Godley, who just recently made his debut, will take the ball for the Diamondbacks.
Thought it was interesting for Iwakuma in his last outing against the Tigers, really using his curveball. We talked so much about his fastball command and using the split, but his curveball was a big pitch for him in his last outing.
Cano, a deep wallop into right field, and this is gone by a ton. Robinson Cano, number 11 on the season. It comes with 2 outs, and the Mariners are within a run.
He has really been hot. 2 for 3 tonight, including his 11th home run on the year. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times, lined out to left field for the 1 out. Really having a good month of July. Looks like a breaking ball, a little slider, probably middle away.
Now, we talked earlier about the home runs from Ray, and they're not easy to come by as Gutierrez climbs in. That's the first homer allowed by Ray in 37 innings, spanning over 5 starts now, including tonight.
Only the 3rd home run he's given up this year.
And here comes Castillo. Let the frenzy begin.
Fernando Rodney starting to get loose in the pen for the Mariners.
You saw Rodney getting loose in the 10th inning yesterday, but Gutierrez the walk-off homer. And 3-0 now to Goody. It was the tying run. Trumbo would be next. Four-pitch walk to Gutierrez. And the Mariners now have the tying run at first, and the go-ahead coming up in Trumbo. And Mike Harkey, the pitching coach, coming on to have a talk. Now Harkey, a former first-round draft pick, that was back in 1987. Taken by the Cubs. In fact, it was Ken Griffey Jr. taken first overall that year. And Harkey, there was some talk that he might be a Mariner. But ownership was convinced to draft the kid.
Take a high school kid instead. I think it worked out pretty well for him.
Good decision. And we will be seeing Junior in Cooperstown next year. Take a look at the Delta Airlines. Keep climbing standings. Now around the American League West, the Angels, winners of 7 of the last 10. The Astros have lost 2 in a row entering today. That's a big series coming up. Angels traveling to the Lone Star State to take on the Astros at Minute Maid Park as Chapin begins to warm up. But that'll be a fun series to monitor. Astros and Angels from Houston. Trumbo, the go-ahead run at the plate. And a first pitch strike. Trumbo 2 for 2, a single, a double, and a run scored. And his base hits, Mike, up the middle and the opposite way.
Well, and that's what we've seen him over the last few weeks, the adjustment that he has made.
When we think of Trumbo from his days at Anaheim, you think of that just tremendous power.
Yes.
And the pull power. Is that something when you start working up the middle the opposite way that the other comes at some point?
I think that is the hope, that that starts to happen and hit for more power.
Right back to Ray on to first base. And Gutierrez is stranded. That'll wrap things up in the bottom of the 6th inning. But Cano jumps on the first pitch from Ray with 2 outs. And he has brought the Mariners within a run through 6 innings. Hope you can join us tomorrow for Twitter Tuesday. You'll have 5 chances to win exciting prizes. We'll be posting questions and want to hear from you. So be sure to watch and follow us on Twitter at RootSports_NW. For giveaway rules, just visit us at rootsports.com. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Flowers, as we open things up in the 7th. There is Tomas to begin things. And Mike Montgomery back up on the mound as it looked like he would be.
Well, I think that when you look at the situation for the Mariners and Montgomery now with 101 pitches, I think most times that would be it for him. But because the bullpen has had to work so much and he's really pitched well after the 2nd inning, gave up a couple of runs. One of them was unearned. But over the next 4 innings, he's really thrown the ball extremely well. So I think Lloyd, again, trying to give his bullpen a break and try to get one more inning out of him if he can. Rodney is getting loose in the pen. I think if he gets in much trouble at all, he'll go to the bullpen. And I'm sure there was a conversation with Mike in the dugout on how he was feeling, and he must have felt just fine.
The third base, tight to the line. Long throw by Seager for out number 1.
Well, Kyle has been busy tonight.
Really has.
Yeah, he really has. An opportunity to field quite a few ground balls tonight. Like Montgomery, keeping Kyle in the game.
Such an accurate arm. Here is Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt leading all of baseball in RBIs along with Nolan Arenado, the all-star third baseman for the Rockies. And he picked up his 75th RBI back in the first with a solo home run to left field. He's ahead 2-1. Now this is a guy who walks a lot, and especially intentional walks, but he's ahead of the count here.
Well, you can see even in this at bat, Mike Zunino, the catcher, he's been set up off the plate away. There you go again. Look at the target. And that, I think, was a little bit of a mistake. In the middle of the plate.
Full count. And another walk. Second time today for Goldschmidt. 1 out, 1 on for Pollock. Enjoy blue skies, green grass, and Mariners baseball at Safeco Field. Take the afternoon off work and join us right here for a Mariners matinee this Wednesday at a special 12:40 start time. Catch a game in summer sun at the ballpark when you pick up tickets at mariners.com. And well, you'll have a chance to see the King. Felix will be on the mound in the series finale Wednesday here from Safeco Field against the Diamondbacks. 1 out, 1 on for Pollock. So Goldschmidt 2 more walks today. He has drawn more walks than anyone else in the game. And another move. And as you might imagine, between all the walks and the base hits for Goldschmidt, the top on base percentage, not just in the National League, but in the entire majors. And he has reached base 3 times in this game tonight. A bunt, third base line and tight, and it just goes foul.
For Montgomery, 111 pitches. His season high is 113. You take a look at the bunt. Fortunately, hit the cut of the grass, pushed it foul.
One out, 1 on, 0-1 the count to Pollock. Pitches now for Montgomery. Rodney getting ready.
Still has the good changeup. 80 miles an hour on that last changeup.
Diamondbacks got all 3 of their runs in the first 2 innings. Zunino finds it quickly. Montgomery stranded 7 base runners over the first 5 frames. In fact, he left them loaded at one point. Sat down the side in order in the 6th. Now has 1 on with 1 out here in the 7th. Close eye on Goldschmidt. Pitches now.
Well, you're right, and I think that Lloyd McClendon would really like to see a double play ball right here. That pitch count starts to get up on him at 115. Again, Rodney ready to go in the pen.
Club to left field. Gutierrez a sprint back, and he makes the catch. What a tremendous catch by Franklin Gutierrez, like a magnet. And there are 2 outs.
And that'll bring Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. Mike now at 116 pitches. He's going to make a pitching change and get Rodney.
That'll be it for Montgomery. He'll go to the bullpen. Rodney coming on, 2 outs, 1 on, top of the 7th. Left field as we take a look now at our Big Fish Casino big catch, and Mike Goody with an outstretched arm able to pull this liner in for Pollock.
Yeah, we used to see this a lot when Franklin was playing center field. He typically will get a good break on the ball and a direct route. One of the things that made him so good in center field, and a fine catch right there. How about Mike Montgomery, whose pitch count up to 116, so Lloyd was going to make a change, and it's going to be Fernando Rodney try to get the last out of this inning. For Rodney on the year, his 43rd appearance, high ERA, 31 strikeouts, 19 walks, with 39 2/3, opponent hitting 273 against Fernando. He has a good fastball. He'll be in the mid-90s, and the changeup around 81, 82 miles an hour.
Now, there's no doubt that Rodney has scuffled lately, and it's been very interesting to hear what Lloyd said earlier today during his media session from inside his office. He was pretty forthright talking about Rodney, saying that he has been tipping pitches, and that is something that is right at the top of the list for pitching coach Rick Waits and for Rodney to be working on, because if you start doing that, it makes things awfully tough.
Well, it does, and I think especially for Rodney, because he's never been a real command type of pitcher. It's been more deception with him. He has the good fastball at 95, and his changeup is one of the best ones in the business. And if you can eliminate the changeup and get after his fastball, he's at a real disadvantage. So if he is tipping, Aaron, if that's something that he is doing, and if one team has it, a number of teams are going to have it quickly. You have to get that figured out for him.
Goldschmidt at first base, 2 outs.
And a strike. Good changeup down in the zone at 83.
There goes the runner up the middle. Cano on his hip. Puts a stop to it and throws on to first base. What a play there by Cano. And the Diamondbacks are retired in the top of the 7th. It's time to stretch. We go to the home half. Diamondbacks by a run. Mind as you consider how a Washington's lottery win would change your bucket list. Play today. Well, the lights have taken full effect of this hour here from Safeco Field as we make our way to the bottom of the 7th. And Robinson Cano, a fine play on a hard ground ball off the bat of Aaron Hill. Down to his wallet, and he's able to make an easy throw onto first base.
Changing directions. Running over to cover as they were trying to steal and had to stop quickly to make the play.
At least he makes it look easy. Here is Lomo. No shift for Logan. He had an RBI single back in the 5th. Mariners down by just a run, trying to get another run off of Ray, tonight's starter. Goldschmidt way off the bag. Out number 1. Couple of arms warming up in the bullpen. Lefty and a righty. Chafin, Delgado.
Robbie Ray now at 93 pitches, 61 strikes. He's faced 25 batters tonight, 15 first pitch strikes. Castillo, the catcher, out at the mound, I think more than anything just to give him a rest after he had to run over. Was a little bit late getting off the mound, running over to cover on that play.
Now, I mentioned earlier that lately for Ray, in the last couple of starts, he has not pitched all that deep. 4 2/3 his last start against the Marlins. 5 innings, the start before that against the Giants, and had to use a lot of pitches both times. All one to Zunino. But his season high this year is 7 2/3. He's got a chance to go 7 here tonight. And the count evens up 1-1. Zunino's 6-game hitting streak, by the way, he's 0 for 2 tonight. That is tied a career high. He did it twice last season. They shift for Zunino. 3 on the left side. Mike tonight robbed at the wall by Inciarte back in the second, then a strikeout on a mid-90s fastball in the fifth. Now one swing can tie this one up. Ray has given up one homer tonight. That was by Cano with 2 outs on the first pitch in the 6th inning. Robbie's 11th of the season.
Mike is making him work. 7 pitches in this at bat so far, and Ray now at 100 pitches for the game.
Here comes his 2-2. It stays alive.
You see all those fastballs, trying to keep the fastball away from him. Still has a good one though. The last fastball, 96 miles an hour.
And the count pushes full.
And this will be the 10th pitch of this at bat coming up. Brad Miller waiting on deck.
Here it comes, payoff pitch. That's a beauty. That's a tough one. Wobbled the knees just a little bit. Lengthy at bat put up there by Zunino.
I can tell you, after all of the fastballs he was throwing on the outside corner, when you get to a 3-2 count, the last thing you would expect is a breaking ball. He's able to throw it for a strike.
Now Ray now 1 strikeout shy of a career high, which would be 8. First pitch and a foul. Just foul past third. Miller quickly ahead 0-2.
I think for Robbie Ray, he understands this is going to be his last inning because his fastball velocity has jumped back up again. The last one was at 96 again.
Here comes the 0-2. 96 once more. Air it out with what little you got left.
I think so. I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Miller a fly ball out and a strikeout. Actually out on an off-speed pitch earlier. The Ray 1-2. Strike 3 call, gets him at 96. Robbie Ray ties the career high 8 punch-outs over 6 innings tonight. Make it 7. ninth inning. We'll take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Once this series comes to a close, it'll be Iwakuma tomorrow night, then Felix, a Mariners matinee, 12:40 the start time on a Wednesday. It's off to Minnesota, beautiful Target Field. The Twins for 4, then more interleague play against the Rockies before a day off. There's Castillo. Now the Twins have been, aside from the Astros, probably the biggest surprise in the American League, although they have struggled a little bit lately. They've dropped 6 of their last 8. What a first year it has been for Paul Molitor, the skipper for the Twins. And right now, Minnesota, speaking of the Astros as well, the Twins, the second wild card team as we speak today. And if you think it's too early to start talking about the wild card, the trade deadline is coming up, and there's no doubt wild card standings will be in the front of many general managers' mind, like, for example, Dave Dombrowski of the Tigers.
Well, I think that is a great point, and I think that it's because of the trade deadline. And I think there's a lot of clubs. You just mentioned the Twins, but there's a lot of clubs that feel that they're still there, still in it. And we'll wait and see what happens.
You got the Astros or the Twins, the top 2 teams in the Blue Jays and the Orioles, 3 games back in the wild card. The Rays and the Tigers, 3.5 and 4.5 back. Full count now to Castillo. We've seen Johnny Cueto moved already onto the Royals. The Royals a win away from number 60 entering today. Of course, Kashmir going within the division from Oakland to Houston. Right to Seager. It has been a busy night for Kyle Seager, and he has been up to the task every time.
Take a look at it. It's a change up, and it's on the inside corner. Castillo turns on it, goes down to a knee. Screaming line drive down to Kyle.
One out for the former Husky. Here's Lamb. Now Lamb, growing up in Seattle, was talking about being a Mariners fan, and well, no surprise, his favorite player, you might guess it, Junior.
Yeah.
You really have to ask that question differently. The question only needs to be phrased. Okay, aside from Junior, who is your favorite player? He wears Buhner's number 19. He originally wore number 24, but then Yasmani Tomas signed a big deal coming over from Cuba. So Tomas got 24, and he said, "Hey, I like Buhner a lot. I'll take 19." Lifted to center field. Jackson curling underneath it. Round number 2. And a round of applause from his cheering section. Mike, what is that physically like to write a pass list out that has 30+ people? I mean, normally when you request tickets, it's for 4.
I can tell you this: he probably ended up getting to the ballpark a little earlier than he normally would.
That would make sense. First pitch strike in there to Owings. Rodney has faced 3 batters so far, has retired each one. We've seen a hard ground ball and a hard line out. And Lamb a deep fly ball out to center. Cano's way. And a 1-2-3, top of the 8th for Fernando Rodney, who retires all 4 men that he sees dating back to the 7th. We're on to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Roots to pass on to you. Look at this. Abby brought this handsome drink of water all the way from Italy for his first baseball game. DeLille Cellars represented. I saw them up in the suites. This one sent in by Bruce. And then finally we have Kenzie. And how about this parlor trick already at a young age? If you show me on the big screen, I'll put my whole fist in my mouth. First baseball game. Well done, Kenzie. I am very proud of you. All right, let's get you back upstairs to Aaron. And we have a new pitcher for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and you're right. Looks like we sure do. It's Randall Delgado taking over for Robbie Ray. And Robbie Ray was really tough. You can see the numbers here on Delgado.
2.85 ERA. Already 40 appearances on the year for Delgado. 47 1/3. 44 strikeouts. He can get wild. 21 walks. Opponent's hitting 240. He's given up 6 home runs and be the top of the lineup for the Mariners. Jackson, Seager, Cruz do up.
See pitching coach Rick Waits talking with Fernando Rodney. There is Austin Jackson, 0-1. Rodney took over for Mike Montgomery, who threw 116 pitches in this one tonight. Rodney, an inning and a third scoreless. Jackson gets tied up. Mariners down by just a run. Down to their final 6 outs. Jackson 0 for 2 tonight, a walk, a couple of strikeouts. And a third.
Pretty good slider.
Mariners bullpen stirring. Carson Smith and Jay Happ up right now, Mike.
Well, I think what happened is today was probably Jay's bullpen session day, and they typically will throw early in the afternoon, but because of where the bullpen has been, they probably asked him to wait in case they needed him to pitch an inning or two. And so now that they're not going to need him, that he's going to go ahead and throw his bullpen session now. Obviously Carson Smith is going to come in and pitch, I would think.
Happ only 52 pitches in that last start.
I think that's what's going to happen.
They put a deep shift on for Seager. Now, how do you even get one of those, man? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know if Seager would approve of the picture chosen. Maybe not his best shot. And very popular in Alaska, and why not? Lamb, the third baseman, is the lone man on the left side. Seager the opposite way with some carry, but not enough. And Ciarte is there for round number 2. Now, Mike, we had a chance to see Robbie Ray for 7 innings. He tied a career high with 8 strikeouts. With the scouting report, really stayed pretty true to form. A lot of fastballs, but the velocity of the fastball was pretty impressive.
It was, and again, when you look at his numbers, his average fastball at 93, but we saw 95, 96 quite a bit tonight. That being said, he threw a lot of fastballs. This year he's been at 73% of his pitches are fastballs, and he's also thrown more than half of them away from hitters, and we saw a lot of that tonight too.
It was tough. Here's Cruz, tie and run. And the final line here for Robbie Ray, tonight's starter for the Diamondbacks.
Really pitched well. 7 innings, 6 hits, a couple of runs. They were earned. 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, 108 pitches. 72 of those were strikes.
Cruz quickly behind 0-2. sitting up in the bullpen. The opposite way, some carry down by the pole, but slicing foul.
Spoiled a pretty good pitch, 94 miles an hour at the knees, right on the outside corner.
Down on strikes. Side retired in order. Pretty nasty slider there from Delgado. We go to the ninth. Mariners down by a run. And we begin the ninth. We saw him warming up, and he has taken the mound, pitching in relief for the first time since July 12th of 2014. It is Jay Happ.
Really gives you an idea how spent the bullpen is. Typically managers, they do not like to do this, but Jay willing to help the guys out. 4-5 record, 4.31 ERA, 104 in a third innings for Jay, 78 strikeouts, 31 walks. Opponents hitting .273 against him. And we know over the last week especially, Lloyd has been trying to stay away from some of the guys. Beimel has really pitched a lot for him. One of the left-handers. Nuno the same. So he's just trying to take some pressure off the bullpen. Happ will pitch an inning.
This will be Happ's 25th career relief appearance, and spent some time in the Phillies bullpen in 08 and in 09 as well. Actually, a lot of time in 09. With the Blue Jays a little bit in 2012. And then a handful of appearances last season as well for Toronto. There is Ahmed, the shortstop, batting ninth. One ball and one strike. Comes Happ's 2-1. Now there's no doubt if you're Happ, the goal here, face the minimum and avoid Goldschmidt. He would be the fourth man due up here at the Diamondbacks' ninth inning. pitch, a fastball with some life, and Ahmed down on strikes.
Well, I think it's going to be Jay's inning. I don't see anybody throwing in the Mariner pen, and he stayed with a good fastball down and on the outside corner. That last one just off the plate.
One out, nobody on. And Ciarte due up now. Leadoff hitting left fielder. So it has been Montgomery, Rodney, and now Happ. And Happ falls behind 2-0. You really wonder what would have happened yesterday in the finale against the Blue Jays had Goody not hit the walk-off homer. Rodney was warming up, but then past Rodney, you were getting pretty close to seeing the sinker ball specialist.
Jesus Sucre.
Exactly. Of course. I mean, don't you think it was?
I would think so. That's really, Aaron, with what has been going on over the last week and a half. That's where they're at.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier with having to face the Tigers and then the Blue Jays and now the Diamondbacks. And look at these offenses. They're going to make you work. You run them all together towards the 10 days and it's trouble.
Here comes Miller. Strong throw. Round number 2. And of course, yesterday was Taijuan Walker. And for Walker, 4 runs over the first 2 innings. And then we saw him throw more curveballs than he has, well, maybe in his entire big league career. 24 curveballs. He had not thrown double-digit curves all season.
Well, and it was a good adjustment on his part to go to his curveball. His curveball was anywhere from 72 to 74 miles an hour. Had the fastball at 95, and it was apparent the Blue Jays were going to get on his fastball early. And his changeup, there wasn't a big enough separation there because they were hitting his changeup pretty well too. So he went to the curveball, and as the game went on, his curveball was getting better and better. So that's the next step for Taijuan as a major league pitcher, to incorporate that pitch more often.
Taijuan said that yesterday Cano actually pulled him aside in the dugout and said, "How about that curveball? I want to start throwing that some more."
Well, he could see what was going on.
Yeah. In fact, Taijuan said that when he was in Detroit, he had a talk with David Price, and Price told him that the curveball could be a very good pitch for him, because you look at 3 pitches all separated by about 5 miles an hour for him, other than the curve. That's 1-2, and a weak swing and a miss there as Zunino picks it up to complete things. And boy, Happ does exactly what he needed to do. 3 up, 3 down, and Paul Goldschmidt left on deck. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Mariners need a run to tie, 2 to win. It'll be Cano. Gutierrez, does he have another one in him? And then Trumbo.
chewing on it, or at the very least drooling on it. Coming up here on Mariners Post Game, presented by Delta Airlines, we will hear from that man right there, Jake Lamb, the Bishop Blanchette High School graduate. And we'll also head into the clubhouse and we'll recap the night for Mike Montgomery. But right now we get you upstairs to Aaron. And guys, trade news on a team that will affect the Mariners on the next road trip.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. As Ken Rosenthal of Fox Sports reporting that Jose Reyes and a minor leaguer heading over to the Rockies for Troy Tulowitzki. So Tulowitzki going north of the border, and we will see, looks like Reyes when we go on the upcoming road trip to Minnesota and then to Coors Field.
It's an interesting deal, isn't it?
It really is.
Daniel Hudson will take over. 3.27 ERA, 43 strikeouts and 41 and a third. Opponent's hitting .227. He has given up 4 home runs this year.
Facing Cano, Gutierrez, and Trumbo. Now the normal closer for the Diamondbacks, Brad Ziegler, has worked a lot recently. In fact, he's worked 3 days in a row in their recent series against the Brewers and picked up the save each of his last 2 days of work. So it is Hudson here who has 1 save this season and 1 save in his now 6-year career.
He has a good fastball. That last fastball at 98 miles an hour. In Arizona, they have a left-hander getting loose in their bullpen. For the Mariners on the bench hitting left-handed, you have Smith and Ackley.
Alfred Oliver Perez. Time called. The 1-1. And Cano ahead. Cano homered off of Ray back in the 6th. His 2nd home run this year against a lefty, now facing a righty. And the count squares up. And for Cano, that was his 7th home run this month. You can see Jay Happ following a 1-2-3 9th. We haven't said that before this season. Hudson, a former starter, 33 starts in 2011. The 2-2 to Cano, bends him back. 97 that time. Goody on deck. The payoff pitch to Cano.
Pretty good fastball right in the middle of the plate. 98 miles an hour.
A little easier to get away with a pitch like that when it's too shy of 100.
A little bit easier, yes, I would say so. It's tough, but I can tell you this, in this situation, they're trying to pitch him away, and really that is right into Robbie's strength right now. He has really hit the ball hard the other way as of late.
Again, the 3-2. And a walk to lead things off. Missed at 99, and the Mariners have the tying run at first, and the winning run coming up.
And Seth Smith has come out. He will pinch hit for Franklin Gutierrez. So, and he has been announced. We saw Oliver Perez, the left-hander, getting loose in the pen. I can tell you, Seth is not going up there to punt in this situation.
Well, he started off his career as a pinch hitter, so he's certainly familiar with this role. We've seen him start a lot this year, but he typically, when he comes off the bench, he's going to try to get a fastball he can handle.
He's had nice success this year in this role. 4 for 10, batting .400 as a pinch hitter with a double and a homer. A couple of walks as well. Smith, the winning run.
See what he's done this year. 4 for 10 with a home run.
First pitch strike.
His best fastball so far at 99 miles an hour. Outfielders all playing deep, trying to take the double away.
Oh, 2. Everybody looking on. Canoa lead off Rockies at first. Off the mound, right there. Out of first base in time for the double play.
And that is a bad break. The ball was more towards second base going up the middle, but it hit the side of the mound and kicked right to the shortstop for the easy double play. Bad break for Seth and the Mariners.
Ahmed, right place, right time. Just could coast over the bag, and the Mariners settling down to their final out.
Right there, you can see the ball jump up in the air as it hit the side of the mound and kicked back.
And Owens did a nice job just to bail and get out of the way. It was in oncoming traffic. Bases empty, 2 outs, and it's up to Trumbo, the former Diamondback.
He's had a good night, 2 for 3, including a double out to right center field.
Trumbo stings it, left center field. Inciarte can't get there. Trumbo motors into second base. And the Mariners have the tying run in scoring position with 2 outs. What a night for Trumbo.
3 for 4 night. We were talking about it earlier in the game with Trumbo getting his base hits. Chris Taylor will come out and pitch run for him. But we're starting to see some of that pop. This solid line drive. We mentioned the double to right center field. This time he goes out to left center. And a great look in our Alaska Airlines Super Mode. Trumbo's head right down when he was making that swing. Chip Hale, the manager, now out of the dugout, and he's going to get Oliver Perez.
That'll be it for Hudson. I go to the former Mariner. Oliver Perez coming on. Chris Taylor pinch running at second base. The tying run and the winning run coming up. Bottom of the 9th inning. Chris Taylor at second base. And facing a new pitcher is Chip Hale with his closer down tonight, going to the former Mariner Oliver Perez.
He's pitched a lot, 44 appearances for him, a 1-1 record, 3.42 ERA, 31 strikeouts though over 26 in the third. That is a good number for him. Opponents hitting .233. He's given up 2 home runs. There's a look at Chris Taylor. It'll be Logan Morrison. Logan with a base hit in the 5th inning. Was able to drive in a run, so he's picked up an RBI in this one at a base hit. Out towards left center field.
Morrison has never faced Perez. Oliver Perez, by the way, 2 career saves, both coming with the Mariners. That was back in 2013. Tying run at second base. As Perez looks back at Taylor. First pitch outside. Lefty's hitting just 193 so far this year against Perez.
Right-hander David Hernandez getting loose in the pen for Arizona. You have Mike Zunino waiting on deck.
Nice break to that pitch, and it's 1-1. Hernandez loosening. It's up to Lobo now. Down to his final strike.
All 3 sliders so far to Logan.
Tied run at second. Taylor pinch running for Trumbo, who doubled. 2 outs, 2 strikes to Lomo. And the 1-2 doesn't bite, does he? They appeal, says no.
And another slider. Take a look at this slider. It's well off the plate away, and Logan able to check his swing. Castillo, the catcher, was asking to get some help. And Logan has not seen a fastball yet.
Taylor in scoring position. Lobo has already driven in 1 run tonight. Can he drive in another to tie it up? Or better yet, win it? Perez to 2-2. And a full count. Zunino on deck, hoping he might get a chance. Lobo the winning run. Taylor the tying run. He's at second. Here comes the 3-2. And it's ball 4 right through the wickets. Taylor and at third base. And a hold up there. Perez getting a little wild. And the Mariners have runners on the corners.
All sliders away, 5 sliders in a row, and then he comes back with a fastball that runs well inside off the plate and gets away from Castillo. Almost looked as if he was crossed up expecting to see the slider again.
It's a double whammy for Perez, the walk and the wild pitch. And Castillo talking things over once again with Oliver Perez. The Diamondbacks are without their usual closer, and this is what happens as Chip Hale trying to piece things together as best he can.
Pitching coach Mike Harkey going to make a trip out to the mound.
Ziegler has worked 3 straight days a normal closer. And Harkey having a talk with almost everybody. And it's up to Zunino now. Zunino 0 for 3, robbed to the wall, a couple of strikeouts. Looking for his 2nd career walk-off base hit.
He has a 6-game hitting streak on the line. Really like to see it go to 7 now.
Taylor, the man at 3rd. Logan drew the walk. Lomo at 1st. Perez, a long-time veteran, but has not worked in these situations often at all. First pitch to Zunino. It's strike.
Perfect pitch, 93 miles an hour.
The 0-1. And another strike. Zunino down to his final strike, 0-2. Tying run at 3rd base. A winning run at 1st. Perez, the pause, the pitch. Club left field, base hit. This game is tied. With 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, Mike Zunino delivers, and we are right back where we started, all even at 3.
You never know what's going to happen. Surprised that Perez ended up going to the off-speed pitch. Saw Robbie Ray basically stay with fastballs away from Mike Zunino the entire game, but right there, 2 fastballs away, and he comes back with a slider. Mike able to stay on it, extends his hitting streak to 7 games, but more importantly, ties his ball game up. And now Brad Miller will have a chance to give the Mariners a win. If it stays tied, they have Carson Smith ready to go in the bullpen.
Lomo, the winning run at 2nd base. Left on left. And there's the fastball for strike 1. Miller, high fly, right center field. Tomas Pollock. It is Pollock in center to make the squeeze. Miller is out, but Mike Zunino comes through in the clutch. 2 outs, an 0-2 pitch, and a liner for a base hit into left field to tie things up. We're going to extra innings. Hey, what's new? That's been the theme so far. We go to the 10th, all even at 3. presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. We've been reading that a lot lately. And the Mariners, the most extra inning games in the American League. This will be number 14, 7-6. As Mike Zunino with the 2-out, 2-strike base hit. Mike, and this is as clutch as they come.
Well, it really is. And after 2 fastballs that they threw off the outside corner at 93 miles an hour, Perez comes back with a slider. Down in the zone, you can see Mike go and dig it out. Solid line drive base hit into left field. And a clutch moment for him.
And this really goes back to what we've been talking about with Zunino all night. Really in a nice place offensively. Entering that at bat with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this season, batting under 100, 4 hits in 43 at bats, and you can see that man right there. Probably, well, no doubt, a big reason why.
Yeah, so we talked about it earlier in the game too, and it's having an approach, Aaron, and letting the ball travel and trusting your hands and all those things. But I can tell you, when you get into a moment like that, you really get tested, because sometimes you'll fall back out of it. But Mike, he seemed very relaxed in that at bat. He wasn't happy about the second strike. I think he thought it was down, but still ends up coming up with just a huge hit for the Mariners. And Carson Smith will take over.
Taking over for Jay Happ as we start the top of the 10th. And here's Paul Goldschmidt.
And for Carson on the year, 2.21 ERA, 52 strikeouts over 40 2/3. Opponents hitting just 171 against him. Good fastball. He'll be in the low to mid 90s with his fastball. His out pitch is the slider.
Way off the plate, and Goldschmidt his 3rd straight walk.
He may have to get used to that for the rest of the series.
And so he's got more than anybody else in the majors. Entering today batting .345, and well, no part of that.
Well, and now it gets interesting because you mentioned it early, Aaron. He has 17 stolen bases, so Carson Smith is going to have to pay attention to him at first.
See how he deals with that. Now facing Pollock.
Mariners outfielders all are deep, playing just in front of the warning track, trying to take the double away.
And looking to first base. You would have to think that for a National League team, it really works both ways, but you haven't seen Carson Smith. We know that he's got a deadly 2-pitch mix, the fastball and the slider. This is not an easy at bat for a right-handed hitter like Pollock facing a nasty righty like Smith for the first time.
No, you're right. And you would think that Carson has the advantage here. He still has to command the strike zone. So far, 6 pitches, just 1 strike for him.
Tiptoeing around Goldschmidt to begin the inning. He's at first. Pollock ready to go. Ball to strike. And it's 1-2. The Diamondbacks got on the board early tonight. Goldschmidt the home run in the first, Castillo the homer in the second. Diamondbacks scored 2 runs in that second inning. Montgomery settled into things a little bit better, threw a season high 116 pitches to go 6 2/3. '17 steals this year for Goldschmidt, and drawing ball 4 better than anybody.
A little bit of a strange night for the Mariners offensively. Hitting with runners in scoring position. They're 2 for 3. Not many opportunities at all. They scored the run by Cano's homer.
Strike 3 call. Oh boy, gets him.
They score a run on the solo home run by Cano. And then really the only other runner to get in scoring position was a couple of doubles by Trumbo. And a lot of opportunities for him.
This freezes Pollock. Aaron Hill climbs in. And it's greeted with strike 1.
Yeah, quality slider right on the outside corner at the knees.
It was Zunino who tied this one up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Has pushed us to the 10th. Now Goldschmidt really commanding the attention of Carson Smith. Way outside, and Goldschmidt will get into second base.
Sure, that will be a wild pitch.
I'll take a look at it again. It is a wild pitch.
Slider. You can see how far out in front of home plate that hit over towards the other batter's box.
One out, and the Diamondbacks have the go-ahead run right there at second base. And a nice stop there by Zunino.
Rick Waite's pitching coach out of the dugout in a hurry.
Just seeing those last 2 pitches?
Yeah, the slider, and just he's obviously mechanically having some issues out there. He's thrown 11 pitches, only 4 strikes so far. He wants to maybe calm him down a little bit. Talking to Rick Waits earlier in the year, he told me that when he makes his trips out to the mound, he never talks to the pitcher about mechanics. It's more about what pitches they want to throw, maybe a scouting report. Try to be positive with them, get them back in the strike zone. He doesn't want him overthinking the situation at all.
Rally Cats out in pretty much full force at this hour. Go ahead run at second, the 2-1. And a misses to make it 3 balls and a strike.
Mentioned that the Mariners 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Arizona tonight 1 for 7.
Castillo on deck. The 3-1 and a full count. Pitch and ball 4. Second walk in this inning from Carson Smith. The Diamondbacks have 1 out and 2 on. And here comes Castillo, who homered back in the second. Hitless since. Facing his former team that he was a member of for all of 6 games. And here comes Mike Zunino. Back in the second. Here's what happened when Castillo faced Montgomery.
He gets a fastball right in the middle of the plate on an 0-1 count. And he hits it out into the pen.
This is only the second time this year that Carson Smith has walked 2 batters in an outing. And you could tell he really wanted to tiptoe around Goldschmidt to begin the inning. 1-1.
Nuno getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
Former Diamondback. Oh boy, inside that gets a big piece of him. Castillo was hit on the elbow not long ago. You can see the big brace that he's wearing, and that really hurt him earlier, and he gets, it looks like, hit right there again, or thereabouts.
Well, and even though you have that padding on there, if you have a bruise underneath it, Aaron, you're still really going to feel it. And it looks as if he even has it wrapped up. So 2 walks and a hit batter now on Carson Smith in a lot of trouble.
You could put cast iron on your elbow and you would feel that. That is
94 miles an hour running right into your elbow.
There's no place to run.
And now Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. Had Nuno getting loose. You have Lamb due up the left-handed hitter, and he's going to Nuno. That's it for Carson Smith, who was not sharp at all today. 17 pitches, only 6 strikes.
He walked 2 his last time out against the Blue Jays. He walked 2 here in the 10th and hit a man. We've got a pitching change. Bases full. Mariners in a little bit of trouble here in the 10th. In the 10th inning, and this is what he said earlier about returning to the ballpark he grew up rooting in.
It's awesome. It's a dream come true. I got all my friends and family out here for BP, and they're going to be here for the game. So, you know, I'm pretty stoked.
All right. So as amazing as that is there also just sort of this crush of pressure all of a sudden?
A little bit, but you just got to remember it's still a game. It's just crazy, you know, being on the other side. You know, I grew up, born and raised a Mariner fan, and now I'm looking to take a series from them. So it's just a little different, but I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
At the same time, a dream come true?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he comes up here, Mike, in a pretty big situation for the Diamondbacks.
Well, you're right. See what he's done in his career with the bases loaded. 1 grand slam for him, 2 for 7.
Facing Vidal Nuno, his former teammate this year. And Nuno starts him out with a strike.
For Nuno, 16 appearances, a 1.86 ERA, 16 strikeouts, only 3 walks in 19 1/3.
Nice stop by Zunino, who smothers it.
The Diamondbacks this year hitting .221 with the bases loaded.
Goldschmidt at third. You got Hill, who walked at second. Castillo with the bruise at first. Medium depth. Jackson is there. Goldschmidt ready to go. He will leave third base. Jackson's throw home, and Goldschmidt is safe. Sac fly by Lamb, and he has given the Diamondbacks a 1-run lead here in the 10th inning. Now his cheering section happy, but the rest of Safeco Field feeling a little differently.
Well, Austin Jackson has a strong throwing arm, and he does the right thing. He gets behind the fly ball, so he has some momentum going home. And then as he's going to make the transfer, there'll be a little bit of a bobble, and that's the difference in this right there. You can see it. Yep, you can see his hand get caught up on his glove, and he basically double clutched it. That might have been the difference.
And steps Owens. So Goldschmidt has scored 2 of the Diamondbacks' 4 runs tonight. The home run in the first inning. And Lamb does his job. He gets a run in. Two outs, 2 on. Close pitch there, but 2-1. More activity inside the bullpen. With his Chafin, we've seen him warming off and on tonight.
This is his 4th time that he's been up.
Some more on than off is what you're saying.
Exactly.
And Nuno behind 3-1. Both runners advance on the sac fly, so you've got Aaron Hill at third and Castillo at second base. Full count, big rip there to miss.
Well, with first base open, Nuno comes back with a breaking ball. Did not want to challenge him 3-1 with his fastball.
Here comes the 3-2. And the count stays put. Ahmed on deck with 2 outs. And a nice pitch there from Nuno as he limits the damage. A sac fly by Lamb. And the Diamondbacks strand runners at second and third. We make our way onto the bottom of the 10th. It'll be the top 3. Jackson, Seager, and Cruz. Mariners need a run to tie, 2 to win.
Welcome back. We are headed to the bottom of the 10th. Mariners need one. Hey, join the Mariners and 100.7 The Wolf for Country Music Night at the Ballpark. It's Tuesday, August 11th. Through this special offer, you receive a ticket and a Mariners cowboy hat for as low as $20. Kick up your boots and get your tickets now only at mariners.com/country. Aaron, I know you're big with the cowboy hats. By the way, guys, Mariners down one, but it could have been much worse there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Angie. More about the could have been worse than the country hat part of things. As we start things off in the bottom of the 10th, and a new pitcher up on the mound. As we see Andrew Chafin warming up. He worked yesterday against the Brewers, threw only 7 pitches to get 3 outs.
This will be his 40th appearance, a 2.79 ERA. 51 2/3 innings for him on the year. 35 strikeouts, 15 walks. Opponents hitting .219 against him. And he will deal with the top of the lineup for the Mariners. It'll be Jackson, Seager, and Cruz due up.
We have a new catcher for the Diamondbacks as Castillo was hit on the elbow by a pitch from Carson Smith, and Jared Saltalamacchia is now behind home plate. So we might see Saltalamacchia at some point as a DH in this series, but began tonight on the bench. But will work behind home. Here in the bottom of the 10th, Mariners need a run to tie. They need 2 to win. Game 1 of the series against the Diamondbacks. Here is Austin Jackson. Now Chip Hale has really had to piece things together in his bullpen without the use of his closer tonight. Brad Ziegler having worked the last 3 days, picking up the save in the last 2. And you can see Chip Hale as he had gone to Hudson and then Oliver Perez, who blew the save but is now in line for the win. And now Chafin.
Hearing you say that, I don't think that Lloyd McClendon feels bad for him. Lloyd's been doing that for the better part of a week and a half.
You're absolutely right. Quick ground ball. Owens gobbles it up. Down number 1. Mariners down to the final 2 outs. Here's Seager. Seager grounded to a double play. A couple of fly ball outs. A strikeout looking. A 6-game hitting streak, trying to extend it to 7. Chafin last year only 3 appearances overall for the Diamondbacks, and they were 3 starts. This year, however, moved into the bullpen, and he has been there all season long. 25 years old.
Well, you would really like to see Kyle Seager find a way to reach base because you have Nelson Cruz waiting on deck. We talked about it earlier in the game. What Nelson has done to left-handed pitching this year, coming into the game hitting .385 against lefties. And Robinson Cano already a home run in the game.
Stings it into right field, and Seager is aboard. Takes a wide turn and puts things in reverse. So Seager now a 7-game hitting streak, and more importantly, he puts the tying run on at first base with 1 out.
And that will give Nelson Cruz an opportunity to try to win a ball game. We'll take a look at Kyle. He gets ahead 2-0. He knows he's going to get a fastball. Reason to wait around, tries to square it up and do some damage. He hits it hard, solid line drive into the gap in right center because the outfielders are all playing deep. And able to get a double out of it. A good at bat for Kyle.
Now it's been a long time since the Mariners have walked off in back-to-back games since September of 2009.
That first pitch fastball wasn't close to home plate.
Seager the single to right. He's at first. The 1-0. Well, not many strikes so far from Chafin, to say the least.
We talk about it all the time, Aaron, and Chafin has pitched well for the Diamondbacks this year, but without your closer, guy that's used to being in this situation, it's difficult. Not everybody can do it.
Weak ground ball, scooping right there. Lamb, low throw, but Goldschmidt is there to clean it up. 2 outs as Seager moves into second.
Oh, it's a fastball. It's down and on the outside corner.
Chip Hale, the manager, now making a trip out to the mound. Talked about it a lot. Cano has been a hot hitter. Having a good night tonight. 2 for 3. He's reached base 3 times, including a home run, his 11th home run on the year.
Hale, the former bench coach for Bob Melvin in Oakland, as we take a look at the home run by Cano, the first pitch. His second this year against the lefty, and that broke up a run of 37 straight innings by the Diamondback starter Robbie Ray without allowing a homer.
Well, they're going to put him on. So Seth Smith, who came on as a pinch hitter for Franklin Gutierrez, waiting on deck.
Smith waits his turn, the pitch away. And Cano at first. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the 10th inning. It was Zunino with 2 outs and 2 strikes who tied it up in the last of the 9th. A single to left field to score. Chris Taylor pinch running for Tremble, who had doubled.
And for Seth, he pinch hit for Franklin Gutierrez. Hit the ball hard back up the middle. Unfortunately, hit the side of the mound and kicked back to the shortstop for a double play.
Now, no familiarity here. Chafin versus Smith. They have not seen each other. Two outs, 2 on. Tying run at second, winning run at first. And ball 1. Smith has limited at-bats this year against lefties, just over 20, but has hit very well against southpaws. .333. A strike. You can see that was close. Seager at second, the tying run. Cano just intentionally passed at first, the winning run. Mariners out of their final out. And now their final strike.
All breaking balls so far to Seth. He's not seen a fastball.
No team in the American League has played more extra inning games than the Mariners. This is number 14. Second straight day. The 1-2. Smith swings and misses down on strikes. Another off-speed pitch. And that'll be all she wrote. The Mariners lose it in 10. And game 1 of the series, a final score of 4-3.
We talked about it a lot tonight, Aaron. A tired bullpen. I thought that Mike Montgomery pitched pretty well tonight. Gave up 3 runs. Only 2 of them were earned, but a tired bullpen. And Carson Smith tonight, a couple of walks and a hit batter really put him in a tough situation to get the sacrifice fly and the go-ahead run.
And not the typical Carson Smith we're used to seeing. So the Diamondbacks claim game 1. It took some work, though. 10 innings and the final 4-3. Mariners post-game presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with Brad and Val. Guys, take it away.
Aaron, Mike, thank you very much. You see the final 4-3, so no 10th inning magic like we saw yesterday. Franklin Gutierrez, the bullpen hat bails him out today. The offense scratch and clawing. Still tying run on second base in the 10th inning. Just one hit short tonight, it seemed.
We saw the same thing yesterday. The team continuing to come back and fight their way back in, and they did that again tonight. Mike Zunino with that big knock to tie this game up. Mariners just came up a little short tonight.
Down 3-0. They come all the way back, force extras, but lose it in the 10th inning. We'll go inside the clubhouse, get some reaction. Look forward to game 2 of the set as the D-backs come in interleague action and take care of the Mariners in game 1, 4-3. Mariners postgame continues, presented by Delta Airlines.